denaito is mean that must first do or cannot do without first doing the something. That means you have, before you will do something, you should get the permission, or you should do something before when you go to the next step. In Japanese, when you use the grammar of Tekara de naito, that means you should use with the verb only. But at that time you change the verb to be the they form. And after that, followed by kara de naito, or you can use with kara de na kereba. And it has the meaning that before you will do the next step, you have to do something before. Or as you see here, they say must first do or cannot do without first doing something, which means that you will do the next step, but you have to do something before. So let's go to see some sample together to make more understand about how to use the grammar of Tekara de naito. The first sample, 親の許可をもらってからでなければ日本への留学ができない。親の許可をもらってからでなければ日本への留学ができない。Which means that you must first get your parents' permission. Otherwise, you will not be able to study abroad in Japan. You must get first your parents' permission. Otherwise, you will not be able to study abroad in Japan. Right. In this sentence, you see that they use with the verb morau. Morau, when they change to be the they form, you can change morate. Morate, and after that followed by kara de na kereba. So it means that 親の許可をもらってからでなければ which means that if you don't get the permission from your parents, right? 日本への留学ができない。You cannot or you will not be able to study abroad in Japan. So it has this meaning like this. That means before you will go to study in Japan, you have to get the permission from your parents first. Let's see the next example. 手続きしてからでないと図書館の本は借りられない。手続きしてからでないと図書館の本は借りられない。Which means that unless you follow the procedures, you cannot borrow books from the library. Unless you follow the procedures, you cannot borrow books from the library. In this sentence, you see that they use the verb する, right? 手続きする. So when you change to be the they form, you can change 手続きして, right? After they followed by からでないと. So which means that 手続きしてからでないと which means that if you don't, right? If you don't follow the procedure, right? 図書館の本は借りられない which means you cannot borrow books from the library. That means before you will borrow the book from the library, they have the step for you to do. First, you have to register online something, for example, right? And after that, they will notify you and you'll get a card, right? After you get a card, you can go to the library and borrow the book, right? So, but in this sentence, want to explain that if you don't do with the for the step that they already give you, so you cannot borrow. That means 手続きしてからでないと which means you have to follow with the step that to borrow the book. Example. この件について上司と相談してからでないと決められません。この件については上司と相談してからでないと決められません。Which means that I can't decide on this without consulting my manager. Or you can say, I can't decide on this matter without consulting with my manager. Why not? In this sentence that you see that they use with the verb 相談する, right? 相談する. When you change to be the day form, you can change to be like 相談して, right? 相談して. So after that, you follow by からでないと. 相談してからでないと, which means that if you don't consult with your boss or your manager, like 上司 means manager or your boss. 決められません which means you cannot decide. You cannot decide this problem. この件については上司と相談してからでないと決められません。この件について means that this matter, this problem. Right? 上司と相談してからでないと which means that if you don't consult with your manager, you cannot decide. Example. 実物を見てからでないと買うかどうか決められません。実物を見てからでないと買うかどうか決められません。Which means that I can't decide whether to buy or not without first seeing the item in person. I can't decide whether to buy or not without first seeing the item in person. In this sentence, we see that they use the verb 見る. When we change to be the must, the day form can change to be 見て, right? 見て after they followed by からでないと. So you can say 見てからでないと. So what you see or what you watch, this means 実物 this means the thing, right? For example, the products, right? In this case, that means that when you just calling, right? You just calling by phone to the customer and or you just call phone to another person or another company, and they explain the product for you, but you haven't seen the product yet, so you cannot decide that you will buy or not. So in the case like this, you can say in Japanese 実物を見てからでないと, which means that if I haven't seen, right, the item or the product by myself, 買うかどうか決められません. I will buy or not. I cannot decide. Something like this.